is News 4 Tucson, live at 10.
Judge Brett Kavanaugh is now officially Justice Brett Kavanaugh. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Nick Vinzane.
And I'm Aliyah Shahid. Kavanaugh will begin hearing cases next week, but opponents say their fight has just begun. Chris Pallone has our story tonight.
His children standing with him and his wife holding a Bible, Brett Kavanaugh took the oath of office shortly before 7 o'clock in Washington. Chief Justice John Roberts and retired Justice Anthony Kennedy administered the oaths, making Kavanaugh the nation's 102nd Associate Justice. Earlier, Kavanaugh cleared his final hurdle, winning confirmation in the Senate, while protesters tried in vain to disrupt the vote.
The ayes are 50. The nays are 48.
The confirmation follows a months-long battle, first over Kavanaugh's judicial record, then over allegations of sexual assault and misconduct. Protests started early outside the Capitol and spread to other cities. Kavanaugh's opponents and supporters both out to sway the Senate.
Thank God for Dr. Christine Blasey Ford. I think she's inspired millions of women.
I just think it would be a travesty to not nominate him based on such a flimsy claim.
President Trump claimed victory at a Kansas campaign rally Saturday night.
I stand before you today on the heels of a tremendous victory for our nation, our people, and our beloved Constitution.
But as Republicans celebrated, protests continued into the night. Both sides energized for the midterm elections just a month away. Chris Pallone, NBC News.
And tonight, a University of Arizona professor is voicing her concerns over the Kavanaugh confirmation.
And she's not alone. A number of law professors are going on the record against Kavanaugh. News 4 Tucson's Eric Fink has the story.
Professor Catherine Barnes' passion led her to join with colleagues from all over America in signing their names to this New York Times op-ed, written only days before the Senate votes to confirm Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court.
His evidenced lack of judicial temperament, his issues of sort of honesty and being willing to sort of answer the questions asked for him, and the disrespect he showed to sort of a co-equal branch of government.
Barnes and two of her colleagues here at the law school signed the letter. 3 of more than 2,400 scholars of the law from both sides of the aisle.
We all have a core value of believing that the law should be impartial and that judges have to be able to do that, and that Judge Kavanaugh demonstrated that he, in a very important setting, that he was not capable of doing that.
Retiring Arizona Senator Jeff Flake was one of the last undecideds, breaking in the final hours to put Kavanaugh over the top.
I completely understand that he wants to vote a conservative onto the court, but I think he also needs to vote somebody who has the integrity he has shown in other ways onto the court.
And that letter is now going to go down as a footnote in this historic confirmation battle. Justice Kavanaugh is expected to be on the bench Tuesday morning. At the U of A, I'm Eric Fink, News 4 Tucson.
Today's confirmation has prompted protests happening across the country.
One of those protests happened outside Senator Jeff Flake's Tucson office. News 4 Tucson's Danelle Confair has the latest.
Dozens of protesters gathered outside of Senator Jeff Flake's Tucson office Saturday morning. They say they'll now be taking their protests to the polls.
I think people are out here across the country, in Tucson and Phoenix, nationwide, because we're angry. And people, I think this country has a history of not believing women, not believing survivors.
The Senate confirmed Brett Kavanaugh for the Supreme Court on Saturday. Senator Jeff Flake and Senator Jon Kyl both voted to confirm Kavanaugh, and that's causing controversy for some who say they don't want a judge who's accused of sexual assault. Corey McGraw, a sexual assault survivor herself, is speaking out in outrage.
I decided to share my story today after decades of silence because it's time. We're done with this. It's hurting our country to have people suffering sexual abuse in silence and no accountability for the perpetrator.
Protesters say now they need to get everyone to the polls this general election.
I hope that people get out on November 6th and they vote, but I also hope that we don't wait 4 years for change.
They may get the judge, but we've got to get Congress back.
Danelle Confair, News 4 Tucson.
And for the latest on the confirmation of Justice Brett Kavanaugh, just head to our website, kvoa.com.
If you're planning to vote this November and you haven't yet registered, time is running out. October 9th, this Tuesday, is the last day you can register to vote in this year's general election. You can do so if you want to register in two ways. Arizona offers online voter registration, or if you want to do it in person, contact your local election office for a list of locations.
Yes, if you were out today, it was a picture-perfect day today in southern Arizona. Maybe you were out tailgating or at the U of A football game. Perfect conditions, and right now partly cloudy skies. 73 degrees right now from the airport. Winds are calm, and that dew point at 45 degrees, that has dropped over the last 48 hours. That's why it doesn't feel so muggy out there. That dry air is in. Current temperatures right now tracking in the 60s and 70s across southern Arizona. 67 in Nogales, Safford, you're at 70, 73 in Casa Grande, and 73 as well in Tucson. Tomorrow we're going to drop our temperatures. We'll be just in the mid-70s for daytime highs across the Tucson metro, upper 50s in the mountains, low 80s in Santa Cruz and Cochise counties, and a strong chance for rainfall is in sight. Yes, it's our first fall cold front. I'll explain coming up in our full forecast. Aaliyah, Nick.
Tucson police still need your help tonight, finding a man who's been missing for nearly a month. 26-year-old Jeffrey Woodruff Jr. has been missing since September 6th. He has no medical conditions, and family members believe he is not a danger to himself or others. Investigators say Woodruff was last seen near Golf Links in Kolb. He's believed to be driving a gray 2010 Nissan Altima that has a damaged headlight. If you have any information, contact police.
Officials are still assessing damage to the Tohono O'odham Nation after Tuesday's heavy rain. Engineers say a large dam was damaged in the downpour, but it is holding up. They will continue to check on the structure twice a day. Evacuees in the Sells area are still away from their homes as that inspection continues. The community's emergency management is currently reaching out to a number of national departments for assistance. If you've been traveling near Grant and Oracle, you've probably noticed the traffic. That is because the city of Tucson is conducting a project to repave the intersection. Workers will be out between 6 a.m. until 6 p.m. tomorrow, and then the roadway will be repaved overnight, Sunday into Monday morning.
Coming up on News 4 Tucson Live at 10, a Tucson church is celebrating its anniversary with a weekend-long fiesta.
Plus, the Boys and Girls Club is selling some very special pieces of art. We'll be right back.
Investigating for you. This is News 4 Tucson.